In this video, I'm going to explain how to access the HMI web interface included in the TAPCON 230 Basic, which allows you to configure the system, view real-time measurements, and adjust parameters directly from a computer's web browser. To connect properly, we first need to obtain two pieces of information directly from the device: the encryption status of TLS and the IP address assigned to the interface X3 port. We'll obtain this information directly from the local HMI using the navigation keys on the front panel. So, we enter the main menu by pressing any key and look for the communication section. Using the arrow keys, selecting with the blue box that appears, and pressing the Enter button. The first thing we'll see is whether TLS encryption is enabled or not. This is important because if TLS is active, we'll need to type HTTPS before the IP address when accessing from the browser. If it's not enabled, we can simply enter the IP address directly or use the typical prefix HTTP. The second thing we'll check is the X3 interface, along with its IP address and subnet mask. It's important to note that this is the interface where the HMI web service is active, and it should not be confused with the CPU X3 interface, which appears further down. Going back to interface X3, we should take note of its IP address, which by default is 192.168.165.1, along with its subnet mask. Now that we have the necessary information, the encryption status, and the IP of interface X3, we can proceed with the connection. To explain this more clearly, we'll now move to the computer screen, where I'll show the physical connections you need to make and the process to access the HMI web interface from the browser. Now that we're on the computer, I'll show the two connection options. The first is to connect an Ethernet bridge between port X2 and port CPU X3 on the back of the unit. This enables the visualization interface through the front Ethernet port of the TAPCON. Once that's done, a second Ethernet cable must be connected from the computer's network interface to the front port of the TAPCON. The second option, and the one we'll use in this video, is to directly connect an Ethernet cable from the computer's network interface to the CPU X3 port on the back of the TAPCON. After completing either of these connections, we need to ensure the computer has a fixed IP address within the same network segment as the X3 port we saw earlier. To do this, go to the network settings in the operating system, which may vary depending on your Windows version, and then assign a static IP. For example, 192.168.165.100 with the corresponding subnet mask. Once that's set, open your web browser, Chrome or Edge, which are the ones recommended by the manufacturer. Then, in the address bar, enter the IP address of the TAPCON. Remember, if TLS encryption is active, you must enter HTTPS before the IP address. And if it's not active, you can enter the IP address directly. In our case, TLS is active, so we'll enter HTTPS//192.168.165.1 and then press Enter. After a few seconds, the TAPCON's HMI web interface will load. If this is your first time accessing it, you may see a security warning indicating that the website certificate is not valid. In that case, just accept the warning and proceed to the interface. There's no problem. Once inside, you may be asked to enter the default credentials: username, admin, password, admin. However, as happened here, the unit may come with these credentials already active by default. So we were logged in automatically, and we can see that we're now connected as the admin user. And with that, we're now inside the TAPCON's web interface, ready to browse the menus and begin configuring the unit. In the next video, we'll take a general tour through the HMI web interface to understand how it's organized and what functions are available.